something that goes beyond the pale. He will shake his head and give this answer without fail. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, he says he tells no lies and that he never jokes. Confronting with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax. A modern Don Quixote, he hates the windmills, claiming to protect the birds and whales he says they kill. But don't believe that story, it's really just a shill. He just did not want to see them wild golfing on Scottish hills. A hoax, he said it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, changing a storm path with black marker strokes. Confronted with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax. Casting mail-in ballots is something that he's done. Now he wants to ban them for each and every one. He claims it's for integrity in each election, but he won't believe the results unless it's him that's won. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, they'll fool you with distractions like real sugar in Cokes. Confronting with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax. He promised to release all the Epstein files that caused all the maggot base to react with smiles. But how long has he put it off? It sure has been a while, and now he's calling this a hoax, protecting pedophiles. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, he'll keep on gaslighting up until he croaks. Confronted with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax.
This just in. A sudden spike in logic levels across the city. Citizens report seeing a man with glasses and a podcast mic. We go now live to Liberal Dan. Yo, who you gonna call when Nazi writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, cause you know we got a plan. The right wing talking shit, but he ain't about to quit. He'll take his proton pack and zap your logic cause it's whack. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall.
It's being reported that Liberal Dan is setting up what appears to be some sort of straw man containment field.
He's calling out your lies with his mic, he'll vaporize. Cross the streams in your dreams, bitch, you know that he's too wise. You're like Slimer talking crap, but you walked into his trap. Yo, it's more than entertainment, it's misinformation contained. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall. The Statue of Liberty, the writing you can't see. So bring the huddled masses, it's a war of the classes. While Trump may think he's Vigo, Dan can cut through that ego. He's got the facts to prove him wrong, got that logic like Egon. Your logic is a ghost, cause you know this chick is toast. When you follow MTG, it's conspiracy, you'll see. There's no need to taser, he's got wit like Occam's razor. Liberal Dan cuts those lies with his Jewish-based laser.
It's unbelievable. Liberal Dan just used the literal dog whistle to lure a large group of internet trolls into what is being called a self-collapsing rhetoric singularity. In all my years of reporting, I've never seen anything like this.
So don't call to be a heckler, you ain't no Judge Rexler. He'll bust you like Scolary, cause your logic's looking hairy. Right-wing callers think they're cool, but they sounding just like Zool. You the dog, he the man, and yo, his name is Liberal Dan. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall. Liberal Dan, Liberal Dan, Liberal Dan.
Proclaimed king, a groper in chief, stealing our country, a crooked orange thief. Faux patriots who are poorly educated, wearing red hats and also unvaccinated. Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. A failing media that's barely treading water. They're too inept to fight this new world order. Corporate pigs are at the trough, hear the squeals. The swine won't bite the hands that feeds them meals. But Liberal Dan will see us flow. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk comes the left, that's right. A leftist voice on air, exposing MAGA treason, breaking through their lies with facts, logic, and reason. Unmasking hypocrisy, the truth will be our guide. Call out their lies, justice is on our side. Cause Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right.
So April Fool's, anyone? Yeah, no, I was originally going to do this as an April Fool's joke, and the mods were going to be in on it, but yeah, and then I was like, you know what, I'm in a bad enough mood as it is that I'm not going to bother with the April Fool's joke, and my computer decided to say, fuck you, Dan, April Fool's to you, because we're going to fucking make your mic not work anyway, haha. So I guess that's karma for me, huh? So anyway, as I was saying, we're not going to start the show, we're not going to start the show with much introduction. Trump's just walked up as the end of the show was whatever. Yeah, imagine if Biden had tried to pull an April Fool's joke on us.
Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, that screen fell play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
So yeah, April Fool's, I wasn't going to do, I was going to literally just be like, and start like talking or whatever, saying words, or maybe just leave the mic off, and then I'm just, of course I didn't frickin' check. But yes, we have a new router, so hopefully that was the issue, and hopefully we won't have the issues that we had Monday. But now that we're here, thank you, mods, for at least, trying to help me do what I was intending on doing, even though I ended up not intending on doing it, but still doing it anyway. So see, it's different audio settings. It's one audio setting for my mic and one audio setting for the desktop audio. Anyway, let's go ahead and listen to the shithead in chief, and we'll be pausing it as we go, because I'm sure he's going to say a lot of stupid shit, and so we'll pause every time he says something stupid. I'm not going to say take a drink every time he says something stupid, because, he's a fucking idiot, and, well, he'll say lots of stupid shit.
Thank you very much. My fellow Americans, good evening. Let me begin by congratulating the team at NASA and our brave astronauts on the successful launch of Artemis 2. It was quite something.
It's Artemis 2, Electric Boogaloo.
It will be traveling further than any manned rocket has ever flown, and will very substantially pass the moon, go around it, and come back home from a distance that has never been done before.
Like no one's ever seen, no one's ever seen, and it's happening during my presidency. They probably volunteered to get as far away from you as fucking possible. I mean, I'm very jealous of the astronauts for several reasons, but one of those reasons is the fact that they get to be further away from you than anybody on the fucking planet. Let's continue.
Amazing. They are on the way, and God bless them. These are brave people. We want to God bless those 4 unbelievable astronauts. As we speak this evening, it's been just 1 month since the United States military began Operation Epic Fury, targeting the world's #1 state sponsor of terror, Iran.
Terror.
In these past 4 weeks, our armed forces have delivered swift, decisive, overwhelming victories on the battlefield.
We took out that school like no one's ever seen before. Nobody bombs schools like our bombers do.
Victories like few people have ever seen before. Tonight, Iran's Navy is gone. Their Air Force is in ruins. Their leaders, most of them, terrorist regime they led, are now dead.
What was that word salad?
Their command and control of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is being decimated as we speak. Their ability to launch missiles and drones is dramatically curtailed, and their weapons, factories, and rocket launchers are being blown to pieces. Very few of them left. Never in the history of warfare has an enemy suffered such clear and devastating large-scale losses in a matter of weeks.
What about when people were nuked during World War II at Hiroshima and Nagasaki? That's not what happened. Come on.
Our enemies are losing in America, as it has been for 5 years under my presidency, is winning, and now winning bigger than ever before.
Like no one's ever seen.
Before discussing this current situation, I also want to thank our troops for the masterful job they did in taking
What word was that? Massival? Is that a new word?
the country of Venezuela in a matter of minutes. That hit was quick, lethal, violent, and respected by everyone all over the world.
It was almost as fast as me with Stormy Daniels or Melania, or what I wish would be up with Ivanka, but it can't happen, but I wish it could.
After rebuilding our military during my first term, we have by far the strongest military anywhere in the world.
And that was true before you, and that will be true after you, and nothing you've done has changed that.
And now we're working along with Venezuela and are, in a true sense, joint venture partners. We're getting along incredibly well in the production and sale of massive amounts of oil and gas.
And we're taking our
The second
cut.
largest reserves on Earth after the United States of America. We're now totally independent of the Middle East, and yet we are there to help. We don't have to be there. We don't need their oil. We don't need any.
I apologize for the hard P, but I have to take advantage of hard Ps because I usually have a weak stream. Sorry.
Anything they have, but we're there to help our allies. Tonight, I want to provide an update on the tremendous progress our warriors have made in Iran and discuss why Operation Epic Fury is necessary for the safety of America and the
Yeah, that'll be good.
security of the free world. From the very first day I announced my campaign for president in 2015, I have vowed that I would never allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon.
You also said you would go over there and kill everybody and take their oil.
This fanatical regime has been
This what regime? Fanatical?
chanting death to America, death to Israel for 47 years. Their proxies were behind the murder of 241 Americans in the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut, the slaughter of hundreds of our service members with roadside bombs. They were involved in the attack on the
And nothing about that required you to bomb it so heavily that you would take out a fucking school.
USS Cole, and they carried out the
Cole was Bin Laden. What? Like, wait, he just said that it was the USS Cole. The Cole was Bin Laden. It was Al Qaeda. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What drugs did they seize all the drugs that were coming in that you claim you seized, and are you using it with your son? What the fuck?
countless other heinous acts, including the just horrible, bloody atrocities of October 7th in Israel. Something that
Which is partially to blame for you because you leaked Israel intelligence to Russia, who gave it to Iran, who gave it to Hamas, who used it to attack Israel on 10/7. Of course, Netanyahu also, let the attack happen because they knew it was coming, and they still let it happen because it was better for them to respond to an attack than to prevent one. But you are to blame for that military, that intelligence snafu, so to speak. But, whatevs.
most people have never seen anything like it. This murderous regime also recently killed 45,000 of their own people who were protesting in Iran. 45,000.
And I'm jealous. I had to bomb them because I'm jealous, because I would love to do that here in America, but I'm not going to be able to do it because I can't get away with that yet. I haven't built all the concentration camps yet. I mean, I'm not supposed to call it that yet.
And dead. For these terrorists to have nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat. The most violent and thuggish regime on earth would be
Well, I don't know. You're trying to give them a run for the money, right?
Free to carry out their campaigns of terror, coercion, conquest, and mass murder from behind a nuclear shield. I will never
That's not how nuclear weapons work.
let that happen, and neither should any of our past presidents. This situation has been going on for 47 years, and
And I love saying that letter, the number, the letters, whatever they're called. I don't know what words are. I make up words as they are. Hamburgers, kafefe, whatevers.
should have been handled long before I arrived in office. I did many things during my 2 terms in office to stop the quest for nuclear weapons by Iran first, and perhaps most importantly, I killed General Qasem Soleimani in my first term. He was an evil genius, brilliant person, a horrible human being, however, the father of the roadside bomb, and he lived just horrible what he did. Iran would have been perhaps in far better, stronger position. Had he lived, we would have had probably a different conversation tonight. But you know what? We'd still be winning and winning big. And then, very importantly, I terminated Barack Hussein Obama's Iran nuclear deal, a disaster. Obama.
Yeah, no, it's not a disaster, and there's a video on that on liberaldanradio.com, so check it out. Liberal Dan, you.
Obama gave them $1.7 billion in cash, green cash. Took it out of banks from Virginia, D.C.
It was their fucking money, you dumbass. It was Iran's money that they were going to get back anyway, but to get it back quicker, they got concessions like, you know, inspectors to make sure they weren't building fucking nuclear weapons, and you trash that because you're a fucking moron and a piece of shit. Can you tell I'm in a bad mood today?
And Maryland, all the cash they had. He flew it by airplanes in an attempt to buy their respect and loyalty, but it didn't work. They laughed at our president and went
This guy would...
on with their mission to have a nuclear bomb.
None of this explains why this military action was needed now. Because apparently you supposedly obliterated the nuclear, capabilities back last year, right? You supposedly did it last year. But now,
His Iran deal would have led to a colossal arsenal of massive nuclear weapons for Iran, and they would have had them years ago, and they would have used them. It would have been a different world. There would have been no Middle East and no Israel right now, in my opinion.
There would be no Middle East. They would just be gone. Like nothing would be there. It would disappear into the aether.
The opinion of a lot of great experts.
Josh, is there a lie on it? There could be press there. I don't know. But they didn't show the other side of it, so who knows?
Had I not terminated that terrible deal, and I was so honored to do it. I was so proud to do it. It was so bad right from the beginning. Essentially, I did what no
Anything is bad if you misrepresent it as such.
other president was willing to do. They made mistakes, and I am correcting them.
Yeah, we made a big mistake by electing you fucking twice.
My first preference was always the path of diplomacy, yet the regime continued their relentless quest for nuclear weapons and rejected every attempt at an agreement.
I'd rather have a president that said nuclear wrong than have this shithead.
For this reason, in June, I ordered a strike on Iran's key nuclear facilities, an Operation Midnight Hammer. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Those beautiful...
He's such a petulant child. I mean, like no one's ever seen, everything is just delusions of grandeur.
B-2 bombers performed magnificently.
Like no one's ever seen.
We totally obliterated those nuclear sites. The
In a
regime
way
then
that's nobody ever seen.
sought to rebuild their nuclear program at a totally different location, making clear they had no
Josh, Midnight Hamster, yeah.
intention
That's what That's what him and Melania play with, like Lemmy from South Park.
of abandoning their pursuit of nuclear weapons. They were also rapidly building a vast stockpile of conventional ballistic missiles and would
See, that's mission creep, because you weren't going to stop them having those. You just wanted to stop nuclear weapons. Now you want them to stop having nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles. What else? How else are you going to, backtrack, backpedal, crawfish, whatever you want to call it, to justify the bullshit that you're doing.
Soon have had missiles that could reach the American homeland, Europe, and virtually any other place on earth. Iran's strategy was so obvious. They wanted to produce as
It was so obvious, even somebody as dumb as me could understand it.
many missiles as possible, and they did, with the longest.
Steve says, skip to the end. Can I skip? I don't know. Is there an end? Is he finished yet? Because I don't know. This is live, supposedly live.
Range possible, and they had some weapons that nobody believed they had. We just learned.
Or Boomer. Morning wood, less than afternoon night, less than midnight hammer. Sky rockets in flight. Pew! Sorry.
That out. We took them out. We took them all out so that no one would really dare stop them. And their race for a nuclear bomb, a nuclear weapon like nobody's ever seen before.
Yeah, because when they built their first nuclear weapon, it's going to be a nuclear weapon like no one's ever seen before. That's not how things work, you stupid piece of shit. Like, yeah, they might, maybe if they would have actually gotten one to actually be, it wouldn't have been like no one ever seen. Like, that's like our nuclear weapons are that, not theirs, you shithead.
They were right at the doorstep.
Really was Hal thinking that earlier? That's funny.
For years, everyone has said that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons, but in the end, those are just words if you're not willing to take action when the time comes.
And I took action like no one's ever seen. And by no one ever seen, I'm like, no one's ever seen the stupidity of my actions.
As I stated in my announcement of Operation Epic Fury, our objectives are very simple and clear.
And I love the epic furries. They dress up in all their costumes like cats and wolves and everything. I love it.
We are systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. That means eliminating Iran's Navy, which is now absolutely destroyed, hurting their Air Force and their missile program at level
the Air Force at whatever, like no one's ever seen.
Never seen before.
Never seen before.
And annihilating their defense industrial base. We've done all of it. Their Navy is gone.
Then we should be free to leave now, right? Right? Not 2 to 3 weeks, but now? No? Then you're not done and you haven't done all the things you said you're doing because you're a fucking liar and nobody believes the bullshit you're saying except for the sycophants who voted for you and still don't have regret for it yet, even though that number of regret seems to be growing at least a little bit.
Air Force is gone. Their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb. Our armed forces have been...
I'm going to repeat the same thing 17 times to make sure you hear it at least once so you don't doze off. Thank you, Chad, for gifting 5 memberships, by the way. Appreciate you.
Extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion. As we celebrate this progress, we think especially of the 13 American warriors who have laid down their lives in this fight to prevent our children from ever having to face a nuclear Iran. Twice this past month.
How much you want to bet, like, by the end of his term, like, they'll still get a nuke off, regardless of all this bullshit? Like, you know, that would be, like, the utter and just magnificent irony. Not that we would want to see that happen, but holy shit, can you imagine, like, that it happening still, despite the fact that it does all this bullshit?
I've traveled to Dover Air Force Base, and it's been something. I wanted to be with those heroes as they return to American soil, and I was with them and their families, their parents, their wives, their husbands. We salute them and
their nieces, their nephews, their great aunts, their aunties, and everybody else.
Now we must honor them by completing the mission for which they gave their lives, and every single one of the people.
Didn't you just say it's complete because everything's done? You've bombed the shit out of everything. They can't make anything anymore. They can't make nukes. They can't make missiles. They can't do anything of the sort. So why can't they come home now? Right?
People, their loved ones said, please, sir, please.
Oh, please. Please, sir. Everybody says sir. Nobody fucking calls you sir unless they want a fucking pardon.
Finish the job. Every one of them. And we are going to finish the job, and we're going to finish it very fast. We're getting very close. I want to thank our
now we're very close. Then they're going to have a little mission creep, and then we'll still be very close, and then they're going to shift priorities, and we're still going to be very close, and then we'll just keep being very close until, you know, we never finish, and it's a never-ending war.
allies in the Middle East, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Kuwait, and Bahrain. They've been great.
I heard Qatar wants their plane back, by the way. I heard that. I saw that. I don't know if that's a true piece of news or not, because so much fake news, actual fake news goes around these days, but I actually saw some story saying that Qatar wants their plane back.
And we will not let them get hurt or fail in any way, shape, or form.
You already allowed some of them to die, so there you go.
Many Americans have been concerned to see the recent rise in gasoline prices here at home. This short-term increase has been entirely the result of the Iranian regime launching deranged terror attacks against commercial oil tankers in neighboring countries that have
No, it's because you bombed them in the first place, you dumbass.
nothing to do with the conflict. This is yet more proof that Iran can never be trusted with nuclear weapons. They will use them.
They bombed a tanker, which proves they can never be trusted. No, look, I'll agree that Iran probably shouldn't have nuclear weapons, but if we would have had a deal like, you know, somebody else signed that actually had inspectors in there and made sure that they didn't, you know, do what we didn't want them to do, we wouldn't have to bomb the shit out of them. But, you know, as old Trumpy boy says,
It is what it is.
fuck you, Donald. Anyway.
They will use them quickly. It would lead to decades of extortion, economic pain, and instability worse than
And if they don't give up, we'll nuke them instead.
we can ever imagine. The United States has never been better prepared economically to confront this threat. You all know that. We built the strongest economy in history.
Bullshit.
We're going through it right now, the strongest.
Just because you have a large stock market, it doesn't mean it's the strongest economy. Just because the billionaires are, you know, loving it doesn't mean that the average working class American is loving it. Where our economy's shit right now for everybody except for the extremely rich.
Just in history. In 1 year, we've taken a dead and crippled country. I hate to say that, but we were a dead and crippled country.
We were not dead, nor were we crippled, you dummy.
After the last administration and made it the hottest
We had a great economy. It's the hottest. It's so hot. Welcome to the hottest club, United States of Trump. I mean, America. We haven't renamed that yet.
country anywhere in the world by far with no inflation, record-setting investment.
No inflation? What? What? What crack are you smoking? Are you back on all your son's drugs again?
Coming into the United States, over $18 trillion, and the highest stock market ever with 50.
Again, it doesn't benefit, you know, you and me. It benefits, you know, you, Trump, and your rich, you know, cronies.
53 all-time record highs in just 1 year. It all positioned us to get rid of a cancer that has long simmered. It's known as the
Trump, that's the cancer? What? You haven't gotten rid of him yet. No natural causes yet.
nuclear Iran, and they didn't know what was coming. They've never imagined it. Remember,
No one's ever seen.
because of our drill baby drill program, America has plenty of gas. We have so much gas.
And now they're just fucking ending, or they're writing waivers or exceptions in the EPA rule so that they can drill more in the Gulf, you know, because screw the large manta rays and the sea turtles or whatever else wildlife that is no longer protected because of this dumbass executive order, because they're going to want to drill more, and they probably won't have any, you know, safeguards, or at least enough safeguards, and we'll probably see another Deepwater Horizon explosion because, you know, they care more about money than lives, so, you know, whatever.
Under my leadership, we are #1 producer of oil and gas on the planet without even discussing the millions of barrels that we're getting from Venezuela. Because of the Trump administration's policies, we produce more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. Think of that, Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. And that number will soon be substantially higher than that.
Where are we going to refine it? If you don't build refineries, you can have all the fucking oil you want. You can have a big oil cakewalk right through the middle of Washington Square or whatever. It won't make a lick of difference because you can't refine it.
There's no country like us anywhere in the world, and
And most of the world's thankful at this point, especially with you as fucking president.
We're in great shape for the future. The United States imports almost no oil through the Hormuz Strait and won't be taking any in the future.
Though we get some through the Hormuz gay.
We don't need it. We haven't needed it, and we don't need it. We've beaten and completely decimated Iran. They are.
How many times you can say that? I would say take a drink every time he repeats something, but still, again, we'd all die of alcohol poisoning.
Decimated, both militarily and economically and in every other way. And the countries of the world that do receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage. They must cherish it. They must grab it.
I'm going to love it and hug it and squeeze it and call it George.
And cherish it. They can do it easily. We will be helpful, but they should take the lead in protecting the oil that they so desperately depend on. So to those countries that...
You wouldn't have had to have done that if you and Israel had to bomb the shit out of them. Between you and Netanyahu bombing the shit out of them, that's why the Strait of Hormuz got closed, you dumb shit.
Can't get fuel, many of which refuse to get involved in the decapitation of Iran. We had to do it ourselves. I have a suggestion. Number one, buy oil from the United States of America. We have plenty. We have so much. And
like no one's ever seen.
Number two, build up some delayed courage. Should have done it before. Should have done it with us, as we asked. Go to the Strait.
I thought you didn't need their help. Why do you ask for the help if you don't need their help? Of course, you don't understand what the North Atlantic Treaty Organization stands for, or why it actually exists. It's to defend our allies, not to help other allies attack others, especially when those attacks are made by a boneheaded moron.
Just take it, protect it, use it for yourselves. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done, so it should be easy.
The hard part is done, so it's easy, huh?
Here we go. Let's do it the hard way. But the hard way, I think, is probably the easy way. And in any event, when this conflict is over, the Strait will open up naturally. It'll just open up naturally.
Like what? It's artificially, like whatever. Like, come on.
They're going to want to be able to sell oil because that's all they have to try and rebuild. It will.
And they wouldn't have to rebuild if you wouldn't have bombed the shit out of them. And then now you're threatening to bomb their energy infrastructure and their water processing plants that, helps them actually be able to drink water. But, you're not a terrorist or anything, but they're terrorists, but you're not, right?
Resume the flowing and the gas prices will rapidly come back down. Stock prices will rapidly go back up. They haven't come down very much, frankly. They came down a little bit, but they've had some very good days over the last couple of days.
First they went down, and then went up, then went down. All this going down. It sounds dirty, but, it's worth it.
We've done actually much better than I thought, but we had to take that little journey to Iran to get rid of...
Journey, Don't stop believing that you're a piece of shit.
...of this horrible threat. With our historic tax cuts, where people are just now talking about receiving larger refunds than they ever thought possible.
That's not me, you dumb ass.
They are getting so much more money than they thought. That's from the great big...
And most of those people are the wealthy people. The vast majority of that, again, we covered this the other day, it's the wealthy people. The people making over $200,000 a year or more are the ones that are seeing big refunds. The working class people are getting like $8 more or $15 more. Oh, shit, are we doing... Oh, no, I just got a little circle. It wasn't whatever. Anyway, it's all the rich people that you're helping. It's not the poor working class folks.
Big, beautiful bill. Our economy is strong and improving by the day, and it will soon be roaring back like never before. It will top the levels that it was a month ago. I've made clear from the beginning of...
And then I'll put on tariffs to make it go down, and then buy the dip and go up, and then sell, and then buy the dip again. Lather, rinse, repeat.
Operation Epic Fury that we will continue until our objectives are fully achieved. Thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly.
So short you wouldn't be able to see it, like no one's ever seen because it's so short. Don't talk to Stormy, though.
We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, 2 to 3 weeks. I thought it was 2 weeks. Now it's 2 to 3 weeks. And then something else will happen. That'll make it 4 weeks or 5 weeks or more.
We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. In the meantime, discussions are ongoing.
So the entirety of Iran needs to go back to the Stone Ages because of the leadership of Iran. That's what's called collective punishment. That is a war crime. That should get you, if you do it, drug in front of the Hague and, punished accordingly.
Regime change was not our goal. We never said regime change, but regime
You just said it. Haha.
change has occurred because of all
We never said regime change, but it's happening. We knew it would happen, but we didn't say it. Now we are.
of their original leaders' death. They're all dead. The new group is less radical and much more reasonable. Yet if during this period of time no deal is made, we have our eyes on key targets. If there is no deal, we are going to hit each and every one of their electric generating plants very hard and probably simultaneously. We have not hit their oil.
Again, collective punishment. That is a war crime. That would make you even more of a terrorist than you are now.
Even though that's the easiest target of all, because it would not give them even a small chance of survival or rebuilding.
How many people, what's the population of Iran? Current population. Like, it's the first thing that comes up in Google search. It's just freaky. 93 million people. 93 million people of Iran. And you want to make it so that nobody can live there. You want to basically, that would be a death toll like no one's ever seen.
But we could hit it, and it would be gone, and there's not a thing they could do about it. They have no anti-aircraft equipment. Their radar...
Which makes it even more of a war crime, because it's an unnecessary step. Like, I never subscribed to the idea that you need to be, like, you have to hit people in kind, like that if somebody only has, like, tiny little missiles, that you only have to use tiny little missiles, you have to hit them at the level that they hit you. I don't believe in that. If they're literally going after you, should have the right to defend yourself until they stop attacking you. But they didn't attack us, so fuck off.
Is 100% annihilated. We are unstoppable as a military force. The nuclear sites that we obliterated with the B-2 bombers have been hit so hard that it would take months to get near the nuclear dust.
Now, I don't know if this statement is true or not, but, like, you have, somebody said on some program or something I was watching that apparently they have some very, like, large underground bunkers or something that, go way down deep into the ground so that our bombs aren't going to be able to hit it. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe it's true, but if it was true, then all this, you're just harming more and more innocent people. So, hey, Teresa, it's good to see you. Hey, TV2 Live. Hey, John Glad. Hey, Golf Twitler. Everybody else who haven't said, we started immediately doing this bullshit after I had to deal with another technical snafu. So, thank you, 250 Kilo Ohm, for 12 months, one whole year of subscription to Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left, that's right. Appreciate you.
And we have it under intense satellite surveillance and control. If we see them make a move, even a move for it, we'll hit them with missiles very hard again. We have all
like no one's ever seen.
All the cards, they have none. It's very important.
Oh, God. Oh, you have the cards. They have the cards. They don't have the cards.
That we keep this conflict in perspective. American involvement in World War I lasted 1 year, 7 months, and 5 days. World War II lasted for 3 years, 8 months, and 25 days. The Korean War lasted for 3 years, 1 month.
Did they actually end the Korean War? I thought it was like an armistice. I think the war technically still declared, right?
And 2 days. The Vietnam War lasted for 19 years, 5 months, and 29 days. Iraq went on for 8 years, 8 months, and
I can read numbers from a screen. My mother would be very proud of me.
28 days. We are in this military operation so powerful, so brilliant against one of the most powerful countries for 32 days. And the country has been eviscerated and
But yet we're still bombing for 2 to 3 more weeks, right? Right?
essentially is really no longer a threat.
So then why are we bombing for 2 to 3 more weeks? Why, just because you are bloodthirsty and want to kill more people?
We're the bully of the Middle East, but they're the bully no longer.
Steve, yeah. I mean, he did say that we were in World War II, aka the United States, from 1941 to 1945. So I guess his numbers are technically right on that one because he was talking about what we were involved with. Of course, everything is we and not us as it comes to the world, because when it's Donald Trump, it's everything is him, him, him.
This is a true investment in your children and your grandchildren's future.
How?
The whole world is watching and they can't
I've got the whole world in my sights. Sorry.
leave the power, strength, and brilliance. They just can't believe.
Yeah, there's nothing about this that's brilliant. There's no brilliance there. It's like absence of brilliance. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe he's just playing an April Fool's joke at this point. I don't know.
What they're seeing. They leave it to your imagination, but they can't believe what they're seeing. The brilliance of the
It's your imagination that's saying all this shit. You have a very overactive imagination there, bucko.
United States military. Tonight, every American can look forward to a day when we are finally free from the wickedness of Iranian aggression and the specter of nuclear.
We weren't under the wickedness of any Iranian aggression. The Iranians were not being aggressive against us. But, you know, hey, they'll be free of our aggression once you stop fucking having to, you know, overcompensate for whatever it is you lack down there.
Nuclear blackmail. Because of the actions we have taken, we are on the cusp of ending Iran's sinister threat to America and the world. And
I've said it 17 times now. I'm going to say it one more, at least.
I'll tell you, the world is watching, and when we do, when it's all over, the United States will be safer, stronger, more prosperous, and greater than it has ever been before.
Except when you take out the power grid and the water purification projects that, you know, help keep the 93 million people alive and living and healthy or whatever, or at least moderately. And then, you know, they get mad and they get, you know, radicalized, and they, you know, want to come attack us because, you know, we killed them, we killed their family, we killed their ability to have any sort of a decent life because, you know, we bombed their infrastructure to shit. And then you create a bunch more radicals who want to then come attack us. So no, we're not going to be safer especially if that happens, especially if you do the collective punishment.
May God bless the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you
I'm surprised he didn't say United States.
very much, and good night.
I guess he's not taking questions or whatever. That's fine. You know, whatever. No ability for him to lie. To lie like no one's ever seen before. So, yeah. Let's see, is there a point? Anything to announce? This is really just about how fan did. Yeah, but there was no point, Steve. There was no point. And welcome, Steve, from across the pond.
If it's not Scottish, it's crap.
It's the Goddess Kimchi is in chat. Good to see you, Goddess Kimchi. Welcome. Thank you for joining. And hey, Tim, good to talk to you as well. Alyosha, thank you for the bits. Thank you as well. Yeah, Trump saying USA, leave it to the imagination. Exactly. I love using my imagination, especially with a jar of lotion.
Oh my.
Maybe that should be something for Liberal Dan After Dark. I don't know. Update on Liberal Dan After Dark. My mods, or at least Jolie, doesn't want me playing the new song. But there is a new theme song to Liberal Dan After Dark, and I'm guessing you're going to have to wait to hear it for the first episode. So, but it's great. It's ridiculously, it's great. It is really, it's great. It might not be, it's not like, had Biden done it, level of awesomeness, but it's still like great, like no one's ever seen, right? So, but yeah, Liberal Dan After Dark, and at the moment, we will be restricting to, what we're probably going to do is, because Wednesday, although 27, it's not bad. Wednesday is typically the least watched show of the week. So we'll probably have a show here on YouTube, and then we'll flip on over and go to the Discord, and the people who will be able to watch Liberal Dan After Dark when we start doing it, probably going to be a few more weeks before I'm totally ready to do it, but we'll probably do it at least. And then maybe we'll post, you know, maybe some of the censored clips or whatever that we don't go overboard with. We'll post some of those censored clips on to the YouTube channel, or make the full clips subscriber only in several different places. So we will see. So let's see, egg off Twitter. Let's see, Trump has lost more troops getting us into a quagmire in Iran than Biden lost getting us out of one in Afghanistan. Exactly. But anyway, we will, and of course with Discord, I do have the capability of allowing some people in who aren't paid members, just to be like, hey, let the people who are YouTube members in, let the people that are Twitch subscribers in, let the people who are Patreons in, let all those people in, and then I can be like, and let's let these other people in too. So, you know, it may very well be that if you're a very long time regular of Liberal Dan Radio, Talk From Left, That's Right, that I will let you in regardless, as long as you're on the Discord. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see what we do. I'm probably going to be more generous than less generous with that. Let's just keep that in mind, I guess. So, but yeah, my main concern with it, honestly, is that, and we'll talk about maybe a little bit more about this later. But my main concern with it is basically that I don't want to have the situation where we talk about things that are overly graphic or whatever, and that harms my YouTube monetization. So if we're gonna do, you know, so I want to be able to have frank, uncensored conversations about all that stuff, and then if we have to edit or change it or do whatever, maybe we've put up the censored versions, or maybe clips that we put up onto YouTube or whatever, just to make sure that some people can have some access to it, and I'm fine with that. I'm just, you know, it's still a work in progress, but we do have the song made, and the song was great. Even my wife was like, "That's pretty good." So, I know Suzanne, and I'm keeping that in mind, that some people are going to get access regardless of their ability to pay. I'm not going to require everybody who comes in there to pay, but some people may have to. So we'll just leave it as that. So. Freaks and Geeks After Dark on Discord. Nice. Are you saying I'm a freak, or I'm a geek, or both? Then it'll be Freaks and Geeks, right? So, or it is Freaks and Geeks. I'm sorry. I read it wrong. And if people gift sponsorships like that, memberships like MNRX did, thank you so much for that. Appreciate you for the gifted 5 memberships. Appreciate you so much for your support of the show. Anyway, let's switch topics a little bit to Supreme Court topics that I do want to talk about today. One of them being the oral arguments today being heard about birthright citizenship. Now, we are not going to be going over the entirety of this because, I mean, you know, I don't like Trump's voice. John Sauer's voice is even worse. Like, I can't stand it. It's grating. His voice is just grating to me for something. Like, I could almost rather listen to Trump than him talk by just a little bitty bit. So, but yeah, let's listen to what he had, because there's this one part is just mind-blowingly stupid.
To your second question, if you look at the text of the clause, we believe it says, you know, born in the United States, born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof, are citizens of the United States and the states of which they reside. So there's a constitutional guarantee that applies to both.
Okay.
When I started my record label,
Yay.
the business side of things, taxes, finance.
Federal or national and state citizenship. And the key point we make there is that word.
And the key point we make there, like my precious, I must get rid of the precious.
Reside. If you look at, for example, section 1473 of Justice Story's commentaries, was understood to mean domicile. So when they say subject to the jurisdiction, And then they go on to say you're a citizen of the United States and the state in which they reside. The very text of the clause itself presupposes that the citizen is domiciled in the United States. If they're present in a state at all, they reside there. Reside means domicile in the Constitution.
Nope. Sorry, you're wrong and you're an idiot, because there are people who do reside in the United States who are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States, aka foreign diplomats. So what the subject to the jurisdiction clause means, very simply, is that if you are not one of those diplomats, then and you can, be arrested and convicted of crimes and have punishment doled out based on those crimes that you committed in the United States, then you are subject to our jurisdiction. But if you have diplomatic immunity and can't, then you are not subject to the jurisdiction. Therefore, any kids that you might have while here would not be subject to our jurisdiction, which then means that you would not gain automatic citizenship at birth. Now, there have been so many arguments that were made during today's hearing. I had it on in the background, and it was just, I almost had a headache from the amount of times I rolled my eyes back after listening to this BS. The only good thing I could say about listening to the justices is this. Even Alito seemed to get it right. Even Alito seemed to question the logic of what they're trying to say and and their arguments as to getting rid of birthright citizenship. It's absolutely freaking dumb to suggest that subject to the jurisdiction thereof means anything other than what I just said it was. And most legal experts agree. The only people that don't agree are the people who are on this side, who are siding with Trump. And probably half of them don't even believe it, but they don't want to lose their job because they're afraid if they go against what Donald Trump wants, then guess what? They'll get fired and they'll have to find some other way to make money off of somehow. And what better way to make money than Donald Trump paying you a bunch of our tax dollars to say stupid shit like subject to the jurisdiction means that you have some sort of allegiance, or there's a requirement to have a certain amount of domiciled time in the United States or a certain amount of time residing here. The words are clear. The words are clear, and y'all are trying to blur the lines because y'all want to enact bigoted policies that have no basis in the... Even Kavanaugh was like, when talking about the whole, we're the only country in the world who does this. We're the only country in the world that has birthright citizenship. Even Kavanaugh was sitting there like, yeah, what other countries do that might be an interesting topic to point out of discussion, but it has nothing to do with the Constitution and the arguments that you're making as to whether or not it's constitutional or not to have birthright citizenship, or furthermore, if it would be constitutional to deny people the citizenship that they were already received because they were citizens at birth, because they were born here and also subject to our jurisdiction. So if Kavanaugh could stop drinking beers enough to understand that, if fucking Alito, the dumbest Supreme Court justice in Supreme Court history, can understand that, I would bet that this would probably be an 8-1 ruling with Thomas saying no. Like if I had to put money on it, I would say 8-1. Eight people telling this administration no, that they can't change the meaning of birthright citizenship without a constitutional amendment, and Justice Thomas would be like, okay, I agree with you. That's my guess. Might it be 7-2? I don't know. I can't see Roberts going against, over 100 years of stare decisis. I can't see him doing that. While other justices, the remaining conservative justices, have gone against stare decisis in the past, especially with Dobbs v. Jackson. So I could see them hypothetically going against the stare decisis with was it Kim whatever Walk versus whatever, again, it's been the precedent of this country for over a century that you're born here, you're a citizen, period, end of story, unless you're a family of a diplomat and you just got born to one of the diplomats or their spouses. It's as simple as that. I can't see Barrett going against it from what she said. I can't even see Alito going that. I mean, maybe Alito still will find a way to kiss Trump's ass, but I can't see Kavanaugh doing it. I can't even see Gorsuch doing it. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but my prediction is 8-1, at the very least 7-2. But I think it's going to be 8-1. And if it's 9-0, I'll be shocked that Thomas actually was on the right side of this as well. So, but it's ridiculous that they're even trying to make this argument. because it's just absurd on its face. I'm surprised they even didn't even laugh him out of court in the lower courts. But, you know, I guess the president gets to have his day in court, so to speak. And literally, he had his day in court because he sat there watching it, the first president to ever do that. Like, no one's ever seen. And, like, apparently, you know, after watching the Solicitor General get berated by justices who he appointed, I think he stormed out of there pretty angrily, too, because he didn't like that his justices were going against one of his grand plans. So, as the old Trumpy boy says,
It is what it is.
thank you, Donald. Anyway, so that's that. Let's close this up as well. Of course, there's another ruling that took place, and this ruling was an 8-1 ruling by the Supreme Court, with Justice Jackson going against it. The Supreme Court sides with therapists' challenge to Colorado's ban on conversion therapy. Now, the way the media reported this and the way that SCOTUS blog is reporting this is a little differently, because the Supreme Court did not absolutely rule that the ban is unconstitutional. They didn't do that. The Supreme Court sent the challenge back to the lower courts because they wanted them used a more strict scrutiny measure to determine whether or not the law violates the First Amendment as it applied to Childs, who actually brought the suit, claiming that it was a violation of their First Amendment rights to not be able to have conversion therapy in their so-called talking sessions. Supreme Court also did hint that the ban would fail that test as well, but it didn't say that it failed the test. It required the lower court to go back and take another look-see. So it's not completely, in the clear yet. They're not completely clear to be bigots with their idiotic conversion therapy. So let's make that straight. Conversion therapy is abuse. Conversion therapy is shitty, and you should not be able to use conversion therapy at all if you're a therapist. You should lose your license, in my opinion, if you participate in conversion therapy. It's not a First Amendment issue. It's a do no harm issue, and you're doing harm by subjecting people to conversion therapy. But Gorsuch stressed that in cases like Childs, Colorado's ban, quote, censures speech based on viewpoint, because the First Amendment, quote, reflects a judgment that every American possesses an inalienable right to think and speak freely. But yet, thinking and speaking freely, out in the public square, sure, fine, yes, you absolutely have that. But you're not necessarily speaking freely if your parents are forcing the kid to go to your little conversion therapy bullshit and, mistreat you like that. Justice Jackson was a lone dissenter. She argued that the majority's opinion could be ushering in an era of unprofessional and unsafe medical care, administered effectively, unsupervised health care providers. Childs went to federal court in Colorado to challenge the constitutionality of the 2019 law and block Colorado from enforcing it against her. She contended that she did not attempt to convert her clients. Instead, she said she merely tried to help them with their stated desires and objectives in counseling, which sometimes includes clients seeking to reduce or eliminate unwanted sexual attractions, change sexual behaviors, or grow in the experience of harmony with one's physical body. Bunch of right-wing crazy bullshit, basically, is what you're saying. 10th Circuit Court of Appeals allowed the state to continue to enforce the law. It was a divided panel. The majority concluded that conversion therapy bans simply regulated conduct, a licensed mental health professional's treatment of a client, which, happened to involve speech, but, and that's what they should be doing. The state should be making sure that the people who are providing therapy to folks should be able to give therapy that is only seen as, valid therapy and not conversion therapy, which is a bunch of bullshit. But silver lining on if this comes back to the court and if it's ultimately overruled and ultimately this person is allowed to do whatever it is that she doesn't want to call conversion therapy, that is conversion therapy, if she's allowed to do that and the states are not allowed to tell shrinks, therapists, whatever, that they are not allowed to, or that they can be allowed to talk to their patients about whatever it is that they wish to talk about, then that would protect the kids and the therapists of trans folk who are wanting to, have guidance as they go through their social transitioning and stuff like that. And a state would not be able to then tell therapists, you may not discuss trans issues with your patients in a way that is affirming to those trans patients. So if we're going to take any silver lining out of this, stupidity that's coming from the Supreme Court, it would be that if they do eventually decide to rule in such a way that this could be used to protect therapists who are actually working to help young trans kids with their social transitions, with dealing with their life as young trans folks, and making sure that they can get gender affirming care from their therapist to make them less likely to off themselves. Because as we've discussed here on Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left, that's right. If you have a child who is a young trans child, for every person that accepts the trans child for who they are and not what was written on their birth certificate, they are 50% less likely to off themselves. So if they come down and rule the wrong way on this, ultimately, and allow conversion therapists or whatever she wants to call herself to be able to, counsel kids or whatever, counsel people on what it is that, she feels is right or, moral or whatever, we can at least hang our hats on the fact that this will also protect the therapists who are doing the good job and a right job and a moral job and an ethical job of helping to protect trans kids within the confines of a therapy session. So again, that latter part should happen regardless of anything, but we all know that there are states like, Tennessee, Kentucky, one of them's making a trans registry for all doctors who treat trans patients. They have to then make a registry, which seems to violate HIPAA. You'd think that the supremacy clause of the Constitution would basically say that HIPAA rules would be over any rules of state conduct, but still, we have these terrible, shitty states trying to do terrible, shitty things to trans folks in those states. So hopefully, people, if again, they rule on this the wrong way, hopefully it'll at least be able to be leveraged to protect those people who are providing good, needed therapy to young trans folk. So it is what it is, right? Yeah, we're gonna ban that person because that person wanted to say some spam. We're gonna ban spam. 14th Amendment is greater than Executive Order 2. Yes, 250 column. That is absolutely true. Let's see, what am I missing in the chat? Jackie said ha 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 Dan, but I don't know what I was saying. What Jackie was saying ha 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 to me as well because I missed it. Sometimes I make a joke and then people laugh at the joke and then there's no joke. I forget what joke I told. Adolf Hitler was the fact that America has 5% of the world's population and 43% of the world's guns. Yeah, because we're obsessed with guns. Gay conversion therapy, ain't that where they put you in a chair and throw Bibles at you? That might have been just every day at a Christian summer camp, right? I don't know. I never went. I went to Jewish summer camp. We didn't have the Torah thrown at us. We actually want to teach the Torah. Would actually teach us to teach the Torah with respect. So, it's a big hook. It's time to ignore the rulings of Supreme Court. Well, Trump has already done that, right? I mean, he's already ignoring the rulings of the Supreme Court in many, many ways. Many ways like no one's ever seen. All right, what else? We do have a hypocrite of the week. We do have words of redneck wisdom, but I may just play those later towards the end of the show. Oh yeah, I did want to talk about this. I'll just record it. A lot of times I will talk about how Democrats need better wordsmiths, aka Democrats, the politicians in the party will try and make a point, and then they'll make the point so badly that the Republicans are able to jump on that and talk about how badly they've spoke. Like, for example, there was Bobby Jindal campaigned for governor when he first ran for governor, and the Louisiana Democrats ran an ad that even I looked at and was like, that is not a true statement. You are lying about Bobby Jindal right now. When they could have made an argument. They were talking about his writings, how his writings said that only the Catholic Church can be trusted to interpret the Bible, and therefore you have to listen to the magisterium of the Catholic Church to be able to trust what God's word is. And that was one of his papers from when he was in college. But here's the thing. They screwed that up and worded it in such a way that allowed him to then respond to it and then lie to the people, and the Democrats couldn't do anything about it, and it helped Bobby Jindal win. So that was one example of the Democrats needing better wordsmiths. Another example is Nancy Pelosi, when she was like, we have to pass the bill to know what's in it. If she would have just said, we need to pass the bill out of committee before we know what the final version is, before we get to a vote on it, then perhaps she would have been better suited that way. But no, she gave the Republicans a sound bite, a talking point that they could use to try to A, make her look stupid, and B, make the whole debate look stupid as well. I mean, I knew what she meant, but again, you need a better wordsmith. So why am I bringing this up now? There was yet another example of a Donald Trump nominee for one of the positions that he appointed somebody for. And one of the questions that is often asked by Democratic politicians, either in the House or the Senate, where as they're grilling the folks who are up there to be confirmed, usually, I guess in this case, the Senate, they will ask the nominees about the 2020 elections. And their question that they'll ask will be a simple question in, did Trump lose the 2020 elections? Which allows them the wiggle room to say he was declared the winner, instead of saying yes or no. He's like, well, he was declared the winner. Then they have to go back and forth and they argue semantics about the whole thing or whatever. When they really should be asking this, which is, do you believe the 2020 election was stolen from Donald Trump? If you ask the question in that way, then they can't wiggle around it. It's a simple yes or no question, and then they could say, yes, I believe it was stolen. No, I don't believe it was stolen. And if they say, no, I don't believe it was stolen, they won't be long for the nomination process, because Trump would probably just pull back the nomination or fire them if they did get confirmed. But by using the did Trump lose the 2020 election, or did Trump win the 2020 election, it allows them the wiggle room to spew out one of their talking points instead of, focusing on the real issue. Do you believe it was stolen from him? Then you would get a clear yes or no, or see how they struggle with that one, and that would be at least a much better watch to see them struggle with how to answer that without either A, lying to the American public by saying that it was stolen from him, or pissing off their boss by saying, no, it wasn't stolen from him, and he'll be very angry at that. So again, but the Democrats aren't asking that question, at least not that I've seen. Maybe there have been some that I haven't watched every confirmation hearing, so I can't possibly know what everybody has asked to every nominee. But I've seen enough people ask the question in the stupid way that I'm going to say, y'all need better wordsmiths. Y'all need smarter people up there helping you draft your questions so that they can't pussyfoot around it, they can't dodge it or whatever. Anyway. Tim goes, this is giving me a headache. Better play Ave Maria, Dan, just in case. Ave Maria. How about that? Let's see. Alio, sure. McFarland News. What was the news in that Trump speech? And anyone and should the platform have been given by the media who raced off the air immediately after? I mean, typically, they do air live statements from the president. But, that doesn't mean that there are probably a bunch of pissed off people. I guess, what did it interrupt Survivor or whatever? I don't know. It's just after 9 p.m. Not 9 a.m., 9 p.m. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from life, that's right. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays here on liberaldanradio.com, which is the YouTube channel, or on twitch.liberaldanradio.com. Many different ways to support the show. By super chats, by channel memberships, patreon.com/liberaldan, Venmo, Liberal Dan right here. You friends and family doesn't take any fees away, and you can buy me cider, liberaldan.com, click the buy me cider button, or just go to buymecoffee.com/liberaldanradio, and you can make one-time contributions. But the most important thing that should be done is going on YouTube, liking the videos, sharing the videos, commenting on the videos, helping out the algorithm, because as we always say, Al Gore needs more rhythm. Now, Kristi Noem was going to be the hypocrite of the week this week. Because if you've watched Hal, and I'm sure you have, Hal covered this a little bit as well today. But I did find it amusing that Hal was calling the fake nipples the balloon knots. I don't know if he knows or not. I don't know if he's mentioned. I brought it up in the chat. Balloon knot typically stands for something completely different, a little lower and on the back side. That's what balloon knot typically means.
Oh my.
But yeah. The whatchamacallit, Kristi Noem's husband has been shown to have been was it bimbification fetishing or whatever, fetishizing, with him dressing up kind of girly and people wanting to bimbofy him and whatever. And look, again, we don't kink shame here on Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left, that's right. As long as everybody consents, great. More power to you. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. Live your life. Of course, one of the funnier videos that I've seen on this was somebody who was dressing up as like both him and her. She comes in, she sees him doing that, and then she looks at the dog and is like, "You told, didn't you?" And then shot the dog again because, not really, but, pretended to shoot the dog because it was the dog's fault, right? Because that's what Kristi Noem, the dog murderer, would do. But the reason I was going to make her hypocrite of the week, though, is simply the fact that you can't sit there, because she's all angry and mad at how much this has harmed her marriage. This has harmed my marriage. How is it not harming your marriage if you're fucking Lewandowski? Like, if you are in fact cheating on your husband with Corey Lewandowski, then that would be what's ruining the marriage, not your spouse putting on women's clothing with balloons under whatever. Like, I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I work all day. Cut down trees, I skip and jump. I go to the lavatory. On Wednesdays I go shopping and have buttered scones for tea. I mean, maybe that was Kristi Noem's husband's favorite Monty Python songs as he grew up, or as, whatever. Maybe that's his favorite song, and maybe he really, feels it to his core, and he had to put on some women's clothing and put some balloons underneath and, make himself look like a pretty princess. And that's fine. Again, I'm not going to laugh at him for doing that. I'm not going to judge him for doing that, as long as he didn't cause harm to anybody else while doing it. Again, I have no problem with him doing it. I have a problem with the hypocrisy amongst the right wing that are going to sit there and blame him for living his best life while denying or whatever when it comes to Noem's alleged affair, but then going after Clinton for his affair because hypocrisy is a conservative prerequisite. So, Tim goes, have you seen anything that makes you believe the election was stolen? If so, what? That would be another good way to put it. My point is that they're not asking it any of our ways. They're asking it in ways that are, allow them the wiggle room to get away with it. Kella hella, who motorboats whom? Well, obviously when the balloons are on, her husband has a bigger rack, so to speak. So, maybe it's some motorboating, back and forth. I don't know, but still. Although with South Park, if you watch South Park, if she were to motorboat him, then her face might slide off again, and that just creates a whole new different set of problems, right? So, hey, Fansan, good to see you. Hey, Josh. Hey, Jeff, from just north of Uranus. If I've missed you, Stephanie, hello. Hello, Molly. Joy to see you as well. Hey, Roxanne. James, good to see you. I don't know. I mean, there may be some people I've missed. Please make sure to. I mean, we do have 30 likes and 25 viewers, so I mean, we have more likes than views. So thank you for that. But if you haven't smashed that like button yet, please make sure to do so. Christopher Titus had an expert on who showed his evidence and is suing for records and accounts of what? Of the affair? Is that what you're talking about, or something else? Oh yes, Big Hook has been talking about what's the name of the channel again? Let me pull that back up real quick, because I know you shared it with me or whatever, and I mean I agree. I mean it's a good video. It is a good video. Good video series done by her. Let's just pull it up real quick. We're not going to play it, but we are going to. That's kind of weird. Oh, that's my different account. I can subscribe with multiple accounts. Why does this bring it up in here? I don't know why it's bringing it up that way. Open a new tab. Maybe that's what I need. It's Academic Dissent is the name of the channel. I might be a little bit frustrated with the overall ability to grow that channel, because holy shit. She's had the channel, I think, for a week, has 41 videos, and already has 1,000 subscribers. I mean, mazel tov for her for being able to pull that off, but what the hell am I doing wrong? I can't, it took me a very long time to be able to get 1,000 subs. I mean, I know maybe some people are coming over from TikTok, but I have like 4,500, I think, followers, or maybe a little bit less than that on TikTok, and again, they haven't all come over here. So I mean, again, mazel tov for her for being able to do that, and she has a lot of good videos that you should absolutely go watch. So I will go ahead and pin that in the chats just to make sure that y'all can also see it as well. I'll put it in both, because again, it's a good channel. It's just, you know, mildly frustrating on my part that I can't seem to grow, and I think I'm putting out good content. I think I'm putting out what people want to see, want to hear, or whatever. But, you know, it's grown a little bit more. You know, we've got a couple of hundred since I started using Opus Clip, and, you know, creating all of those shorts to come, you know, get spat out or whatever. But still, it's just one of the things that's just mildly frustrating, just to see other people growing faster than I'm able to figure out, because I can't seem to crack that code. But again, check her out. Please go subscribe, help her grow too if you haven't followed that yet. So anyway, let's what else did we want to talk about? We talked about Noem. Again, I am in a pretty shit mood today, so let's turn the desktop audio back up, because we don't want that to happen. Did I not pin that? Oh, yeah, it's pinned. Oh, it's pinned. That's weird. It's now pinned at the bottom instead of the top. That's bizarre that YouTube pins it now at the bottom instead of the top. I'm like, what happened? Why didn't it go up there? So, I think she got forced off TikTok by Allison. I saw her channel on TikTok. I looked it up. It's there. I mean, the link to her TikTok is on her YouTube bio, so it is there. So, Trisha, I'm sorry you're in a shit mood. It's a full moon, though. Most of us are, and you're not alone. You are not alone. Anyway, screw Michael and his, you know, wonder if Michael ever went to Epstein Island. So, hey, Jen, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you for joining. I'm assuming that means Hal's over. One of the reasons that I'm really pissed off is I'm still having the issues with the prior. We'll talk about this a bit, and then we'll play some of the clips or whatever, and maybe we'll open up the phone line as well, or play the 2 bits that I have ready to play. Got my new job, as you all know, and came with new insurance. So instead of having Blue Cross like I had with my old firm that is now withered away in nothing and declaring bankruptcy, now I have United Healthcare, and that's fun. One of the problems that I'm having is that United Health, or when it comes to Blue Cross Blue Shield, at least with the plan that we had, Blue Cross Blue Shield only required a certain BMI to get on Zepbound. To get on Mounjaro, even though it's the same fucking medicine, both of them are tirzepatide. But to get on Mounjaro, you need more than just a high BMI, you also need like type 2 diabetes or some other issues or whatever. But to get on Zepbound, you just need to you would just need to have a high BMI, and that's it under Blue Cross. But under United Healthcare, you need a high BMI. You need, when I looked up the requirements, it was you need a high BMI and you need to have a diagnosis of obstructive sleep apnea. Now, so I gave that information to my primary care physician's office, who fucked it up. But the letter that I saw on the appeal, because now they've rejected the appeal as well, is that some of the things that they don't have is documented proof showing that I tried to lose weight via dieting, and that failed. And I did try and do that under my previous doctor, who is now semi-retired and living in Paris, France. So, you know, I don't know how difficult it's going to be for my current primary care physician to be able to get those notes to basically say, hey, this is what he was doing over the course of so many days to try and lose weight, and it didn't work, and then he went even higher afterwards. So there's that. So I need evidence of that. And I also not only need the diagnosis of obstructive sleep apnea, they now need proof that I have been using a CPAP. Now, I have been using a CPAP, and I can provide that proof, but why didn't they tell me that on the initial thing? We're not just you have to have obstructive sleep apnea, but you have to be using your CPAP machine as well, and you have to use it for at least 4 hours a night for at least 70% of the nights. So that's the new moving goalpost that United Healthcare created, that now my doctor's office has to jump through those hoops to try and get that figured out. And if they don't figure it out, then I don't get to continue using Zepbound, the medicine that has allowed me to lose in a couple of years, or most of the weight that I've lost, aka the 150 pounds that I lost on Zepbound. Jen, they shouldn't make me do a sleep study because I do have the sleep apnea, and I should be able to pull the logs or whatever from that. Now, granted, I told my primary care physician's office, I told them after it was initially denied that they needed to call this phone number to get this done. Did they? No. They resubmitted the same damn prior authorization request, which was immediately denied for being a duplicate. And then I have another medicine that requires a prior authorization. Another one, different from Zepbound, that I had an old medicine that I used under Blue Cross, and they don't cover that one. But when I was looking it up, and when I was talking to one of the people from Young Healthcare, because I was getting ahead of the game, I was like, look, if I need to get a prior authorization, what do I need to give y'all, and what do you have that's allowable so I can have the similar type of medication? They gave me the name of that medicine. And guess what? I told the people at my doctor's office the name of that medicine. What did they do? They put in a prior authorization for the old medicine that's not covered. That's not part of their formulary. And then 5 days later, they tried a different medicine that's not part of their formulary, instead of the named medicine that I told them that I need them to put in. So yes, I'm rather frustrated about that too. That's one of my other things. Plus the worries about my wife and whether or not getting her off Mounjaro, because she got it no problem, but her getting off Mounjaro, we're going to see what her doctor says about whether or not they're going to eliminate the prescription or reduce the dose or whatever it is that they're going to do with that, and making sure that, you know, she can start feeling better because she's not feeling great right now. And everything else that's going on in my life, me having to, you know, deal with, you know, the fact that I was expecting a $2,500 tax refund and I'm only getting a $60 tax refund. That changed because I forgot to write off several things, you know, so I was able to work it to way so I don't owe anything anymore. But still, I was expecting $2,500 or maybe $2,000, and I'm getting bupkis. So the odds of me being able to, you know, have a nice trip for my anniversary coming up in July is not going to be, you know, it's not looking very likely at this point. What else is going on that I can bitch about? It's just everything is piling up at once, and I'm just getting more and more frustrated. And it's just, and then you see stuff like, you know, we have all the shit that's going on with this fucking idiot president. You have just everything else that's going on all together, it's just pissing me off completely. Big Hook, can we clone Luigi for Dan? I mean, on my personal Facebook page, I did say Luigi intensifies when talking about just the topic in more general ways, but still, yeah. You know, I'm not a very happy camper. And it's like, I can't leave my current doctor because that's not going to help anything. And then I just have to make sure that the new doctor gets all of the old documentation. So then it's going to push back the medicine even further. So, and as the days and weeks and months go by where I'm having to fight to get my medicine that I need to have, that is, and the thing is, if I was a new Zepbound patient, I might understand them wanting to verify all these things. But I'm not a new Zepbound patient. They can look at my medical history and say, oh, you were this weight, and now you're this weight, and what helped you get there was the Zepbound. It's working very nicely for you. Let's go ahead and make an exception and allow you to have the Zepbound. But do they do that? Nope. They're not doing that at all. And of course, the person who's the patient advocate on the United Healthcare side is sitting there like, please don't worry. We're going to handle this for you and help your doctor get the proper documentation needed so you can get your medicine approved. Yeah, I'm going to worry because A, I have no faith in y'all because y'all are a bunch of greedy shits. I didn't say that in the chat. But y'all are a bunch of greedy shits, so no, I don't believe y'all that y'all are going to cover me with this medicine because y'all are putting extraneous requirements that aren't needed by the FDA. They weren't needed by Blue Cross, their competitor, but they're needed by United Healthcare because United Healthcare is fucking greedy as shit. But I also don't trust that my doctor's office is going to be able to provide them with the information that's needed, and I'm still not going to be able to get it. So if I start ballooning up, you know, because I no longer have the help from the weight loss drugs to be able to, you know, prevent me from, you know, keeping my appetite down to be able to lose the weight that I need to lose, then, you know, you'll know why. So universal healthcare paid for by your taxes is the way to go, and let the government do something useful and heal the nation. Absolutely. I mean, my only problem my only little problem with that is that when I was on Medicaid, Medicaid was covering Trulicity first because I was first on Trulicity. That helped me lose a little bit of it, and then I gained some back. I was on the Trulicity, and then they stopped covering the Trulicity. But that was very briefly right before I got off the Medicaid and got on my last works health insurance plan. But then, of course, the same doctor's office for the first time I tried to get Zepbound, they put in a prior authorization. They put the incorrect information on it. I was denied. They didn't appeal in time, and then I had to go 6 months without having the medicine that I needed. So, yeah, I could use all the light. I even asked them, Trisha. I said, "Are y'all still using AI to approve prior authorizations?" Because, you know, basically, I'm pushing for them to get into the appeal stages because at that point, at least there's some human involvement at that point. But I absolutely believed that there was some AI involved in my denials because while AI is good for making, you know, cat videos or music videos or songs like, you know, the awesome songs you can hear on Liberal Dane Radio, Talk from the Left, that's right, it still can't be trusted to deal with things like making healthcare decisions. Where to the point where, I mean, look, if you want to use AI to fucking, you know, accept or deny or whatever based off of certain criteria, fine, but you should be required to then, if AI says no, to have humans come in and say, okay, let's double check the AI to make sure that the no is an actual needed no and not a false no. So, right? So, anywho. Yeah, the fucking least personalized decider. So, and then I even contacted United Healthcare on Twitter, and I was, because sometimes I find that the Twitter help, and they actually called me, like they sent me a direct message, I sent a DM on Twitter, and they were like, and they called me, and I basically gave the look. Here's the doctor's office number if you want it, and here's my own information also if you want it. But problem is that You guys are putting on too much requirements for what Zepbound needs to have. So kind of bitched him out as well. So anyway, 9:28, 9:30. Let's go ahead. We're going to play the Hypocrite of the Week and Words of Redneck Wisdom. Let's do the Words of Redneck Wisdom. Words of Redneck Wisdom first. Easy for me to say. I have the best words. No one has better words. Funny thing is that with Words of Redneck Wisdom, usually, usually I'm mocking everything that is said by the caller to the show or whomever else I'm using as the clip. But in this particular case, you'll see that it might be somewhat different. Some of it is still wrong, but let's play it and then comment afterwards.
And now, Words of Redneck Wisdom, brought to you by Liberal Dan Radio.
I'd like to apologize by being...
Hold on a second. For some reason, I don't know what happened, but the volume on the top part is very low. So let's go ahead and edit that real quick. It wasn't this low when I actually produced it, but I still have it open in Audacity. The audacity of these bitches, right? So for some reason, it decided to go very, very low. That should be better. Let's try it one more time, shall we?
And now, Words of Redneck Wisdom, brought to you by Liberal Dan Radio.
I'd like to apologize by offending people with my criticisms, but the only existential threat that America is facing, was facing, is a $40 trillion debt. That is the existential threat that this country faced before we created this movement, okay? If we've been at war, or if Iran's been at war with us for the past 47 years, how's come no other president ran on that, going to war with, or attacking Iran? How's come Donald Trump didn't run on that? I don't remember one campaign slogan of him attacking up bomb Iran, right?
Right.
Okay.
You know what I remember? I remember him saying in his announcement speech that they cannot have nuclear weapons. So,
Well,
I mean,
yes,
he
yes,
said that.
yes.
He said that, but he didn't say we're going to war with them. Right.
Well, right, well, didn't we obliterate their nuclear capabilities just a few months ago?
Yeah.
But anyway,
yes,
here's
we
what I
did.
want to say. Here's what
Yes.
I want to say.
Yes.
All these ridiculous people out here, like Mark Levin and those two guests you had on last night, that are saying Iran's been an existential threat to us for 47 years. Well, they got more fecal matter than Iran has fissile matter right now, okay? They're full of fecal matter, okay? Listen, the criminals, okay, they're both saying that the war's coming here. There's terrorists here, and they're going to attack us. Well, why is that? No other country in the world threatened us until the CIA, in Trump's first term, allowed China to attack us with a bioweapon, the world with a bioweapon, so they could steal the 2020 election. No other country was an existential threat to us until Biden allowed, illegitimate Biden allowed all these millions of people
Right.
come over here from countries we don't even know. That was the existential threat, okay? Now, instead of going after those criminals like Mayorkas and Biden that allowed an invasion of our country to save our country, they're not going after them. They're not deporting the terrorist millions that come over here. They're looking for fissile matter in Iran. And they're going to send our young men and women to die for that fecal matter. Thank you, Jeff. I'm tore up. Thank you.
And this concludes Words of Redneck Wisdom, brought to you by Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left, that's right.
And, well, that's weird. little abrupt ending or whatever, but it is what it is. I'm sorry.
It is what it is.
It's Trump's line. Cosmic Rose. Supposedly, we haven't had any router failures tonight. Knock on wood. It is a new one. So hey, Cosmic Rose, good to see you. But yeah, I mean, first of all, hearing someone like Mark from Indiana talking about the existential threat and using it correctly, and also saying words like obliterate, I'm actually pretty impressed with his vocabulary. It's pretty good for his vocabulary. And most of the stuff, I'm sitting there like, all right, good. Of course, he still goes back to the CIA had China send COVID so they could do whatever, the election or whatever, blah, 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 and all of that bullshit. And of course, the lie that Biden allowed millions and millions of people across the border. He didn't allow that. He wanted to actually do more on the border, but they wouldn't vote for it because Donald Trump didn't want actual legislation passed to get us more justices to handle or judges to handle all of the asylum claims, because Donald Trump wanted to continue to be something that he could campaign on. But yeah, I mean, him saying the existential threat is the debt. We've been at war for 47 years, how come nobody else ran on it? I mean, there was no Trump campaign slogan about going to war with Iran. They actually tried to say that Kamala Harris would get us into World War III. Now, McCain did do the bomb Iran thing, and he got shit for it, and rightly so, because we shouldn't be joking about the actual our leader should not be joking about what he might do in attacking another country and making a joke out of it. That was probably the immature thing that McCain did during that campaign. Now, of course, comparatively to Donald Trump, the amount of immature things that he does, like no one's ever seen. But yeah, didn't he obliterate? And then his whole fecal matter versus fissile matter. I mean, that's pretty darn funny. I give him credit for that. Again, so this week's Words of Redneck Wisdom seemed to actually have more wisdom in it than it usually does, even though he had to end with some of the still crazy conspiracy theory BS that happens. What's going on, Human FB? Good to see you. Let's see. And we also, again, Kristi Noem was going to be this week's Hypocrite of the Week as well. She was going to be, but then I saw this quote or this saying or whatever it is that the Secretary of State said, and so Marco Rubio is this week's hypocrite. Oh damn it! I didn't even put the darn thing up there. Oh well. We'll play it anyway. Whatever, it is what it is. Come on. This week's Hypocrite of the Week is Marco Rubio, who said that Iran should spend its money on its people and not the military. That's right, the Secretary of State for the president who started a needless war in Iran that is costing us billions of dollars is telling another country that instead of spending money on war, that it should spend money on its people. Sounds like someone should turn around and give that advice to his boss instead. To see who next week's Hypocrite of the Week will be, tune in live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central on liberaldanready.com for more talk from the left. That's right. Yep, so there you go. So it's just, I'm shook over the idea that, he has the nerve to tell Iran, you should spend your money on your people and not on the military. Well, same as you. Every conservative accusation is a confession, and hypocrisy is a conservative prerequisite. All the things that we like to say here on the show. Is that Portland, 1000, Oregon, at least on the bright side, Kristi Noem's husband is doing drag shows. Again, if he wants to dress in drag, we don't kink shame that on the show, but we will, talk about the amazing and stunning hypocrisy of her trying to blame her husband for creating problems in their marriage when, she's allegedly been boning Lewandowski. I would say down low, but it wasn't really that down low, right?
Oh my.
Let's see. Yeah, fissile. Yeah, fecal. Yeah, fecal versus fissile. No, they do. I think he was making the joke about fecal versus fissile. So there is that. So you mentioned on the congressional floor, so definitely not down low. Exactly. It might be down low, might be up high, might be too slow. Hello, Bulldog Rider. Thank you for following me over on Twitch. Appreciate you. Let's see, Hella. I won't yuck your yum, but I will yuck your hypocrisy. Exactly. Bingo. 100% on the nose there. What else? All women have a crush on Lewandowski? Do they? I don't know. I can't speak for that. Let's see. What else? What else did I miss in the chat? Don't balloon shame. I mean, you know, with somebody who has, you know, the guns like Noem has, you know, you want to make sure that you don't get any, you know, shrapnel coming off of a bullet fragment that might hit your inflated balloon and pop it. And pop goes the weasel, goes the weasel, weasel goes pop. I know somebody had mentioned that, so that last show, and I forgot to actually start doing the whole third base, pop goes the weasel. Anyway, because again, I know, oh man, human being 99 red balloons. I don't know what color were they. Red balloons? I don't know. There was only 2 under the shirt. I don't know if they were red. So yeah. Oh my.
Oh my.
Anyway, let's see if I missed anything else that I want to talk about here. Again, I've been having a rather shitty day, so I don't know how much more I will last with the show. You know, we will see. But anywho, again, just to update everybody else who might not have come in on the show, I do have the theme song ready. It's not gonna get played tonight because it was requested by my mods that I not, because they want the surprise to hit when you first hear it on the show. If you've not joined the Discord, join the Discord, because we're gonna initially start doing the Liberal Dan After Dark on the Discord, and it's going to be in a channel that is mostly going to be paid subscribers, either people on who are subscribers on Twitch, members, Liberal Danimals on YouTube or higher, people who are patrons, lather, rinse, repeat. However, we will make exceptions for some folks if, you know, I deem that somebody has been around for a while and they want access and they want to listen to it, fine. And then we'll record the shows, and it might not be, they might not even be too terribly long of a show, at least to start off with. However, we do want to make sure that, you know, we kind of do a dry run of it, you know, have a couple of shows under the belt, and maybe we'll put up some small clips up on the Patreon, put some small clips up on YouTube, to be able to see by free folks, so they can say, if you want more of this, just make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this particular segment of Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left, That's Right. So, how to join Discord. Jolie, I think Jolie has the link, if Jolie could share that link again. I think maybe I could bring it up as well. Let me see if I can bring it up, because we're almost close to the end of the show. Now's the time to say goodbye for friends like you and me. LIBERALDAN, missing a letter. Liberal Dan. Let's see. Invite to server. Copy. And let's paste it in there. That should be what you need. To get over to the Discord server. What emoji do I want associated with you? I don't know yet. I'm not quite sure. I will have to think about, give it some thought and let you know. Or maybe I'll have to create a new one for myself, and have it be that way. Have my own emojis, right? And I think I can have those as a member or whatever. Let's see. Anything else I wanted to talk about tonight before we ended the show? I don't know. Probably not. We'll have stuff to talk about tomorrow, I'm sure. But again, just the past few days have just been so, outside of work time, has been just so consumed worrying about Cassie, dealing with, you know, whatever health issues she might be dealing with right now. Had to take her to the doctor yesterday, and dealing with all the other stuff that's going on, having to collect information for all of the stuff so that I can make a claim against my former employer in the bankruptcy case as a creditor. All this fun stuff going on again. But always make sure to make time for y'all, my loyal and faithful watchers, all the Danimals who are here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, or as much as you can, because your life gets in the way too sometimes. But I am very much appreciative to all of y'all for making this not just be a fun experience and having the fun back and forths with y'all and interacting with y'all, but just for everything that y'all do to just grow the show as y'all do, from the people that comment on the videos and like them and share them on YouTube, to people like Cosmic Rose who make sure to retweet my stuff over on Blue Sky, and I could definitely be doing much better on promoting my stuff on Blue Sky. And with all the other stuff, that's just, that all of y'all do, from Big Hook from calling in, and everybody else and especially the mods, Jolie and Aaron, for doing everything that y'all do for me. I appreciate y'all so much. And there was a point in time, when I was thinking of just giving this up because it wasn't going anywhere. And then Hal came along and y'all came along, and y'all have made this something that I want to do, and I want to do more often. So I wouldn't have that without y'all. So thank y'all very much. Appreciate it. And I guess as we go out, we'll start again with the Everybody Knew song, which has the line about the frustration of dealing with prior authorizations. Big FU to United Healthcare for being shitty right now. Hopefully they make it better. If they make it better, clearly I'll say they fixed it. They made it right. Thank you for all those who made it right, but we're not there yet. So, again, thank y'all so much. We'll be back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a good one. Peace.
He said nobody who healthcare could be so complicated. The Obamacare debate was 6 months litigated. Years of med school debt got capitalized. Insurance claim forms so high they nearly capsized. But he wouldn't know the frustration of trying to get prior authorization. Everybody knew, the whole world knew, the doctors, the lawyers, the CBO crew. Oh, 30,000 pages already reviewed. It wasn't a big secret. We knew. He said people don't realize Obama deported, but the porter-in-chief is what La Raza retorted. Obama went after the violent folks and felons, drug nabbed the dishwashers and people picking melons. But that was argument shows that he's not very bright. If Obama made some wrongs, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Everybody knew, the whole world knew. Univision, AP, the fact check crew. Oh, acting all surprised that the sky is blue. It wasn't no secret. We knew. He asked who knew a virus could be so contagious. Virologist blinked at someone so outrageous. He was surprised at how many countries existed. No wonder when the virus spread, he the one who missed it. Spread them out, slit red in every deadly hue. World Health Memo said we already knew. Everybody knew. Oh, the whole world knew. Oh, the lab coats, the leaders, and we were with the flu. Oh, the nations of the world, more than 192. It wasn't a big secret. religion like contraband. Yeah, like 60. You sat down, claiming to discover chess. War called money was his big surprise. Iraq has oil, can you believe your eyes? He said, we are divided, a surprise to no one thinking. And he was most surprised a Republican was Lincoln. Everybody knew, the whole world knew, the Christians, the Muslims, atheists, and the Jews. Like being shot, they have animals at the zoo. It wasn't a big secret. We knew. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. Obama and Bush's pictures got hidden, obscuring the past, history rewritten, hung in a hallway where no tour can see, confirming his unending fragility. If Trump can't see it, you must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list, object permanent, a milestone missed. If Trump can't see it, he must not exist. The testing was the line that he said. Hundreds of thousands needlessly dead. Now HHS is run by brainworm quack, hiding the truth behind his back. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list, an administration run by narcissists. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Of documents stacked floor to the wall, top secret folders in a bathroom stall. Charges were pressed, but the case was dropped. A corrupt judicial system he can co-opt. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. He'll swear it's fake news, a liberal twist. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Downtown tents lining the street, invisible people that power won't beat. Hide them away so the cameras can't find it. Proof of a system that's cold and unkind, of chaotic secret and NDA signed. An illegal bribe, Michael Cohen fine. Trump got fined too over his gag order, but she didn't gag cause he was much shorter. It must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. We can't let him win, we must resist. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist.
They wrote it in the laws, ink still bleeds. Treating women like soil, just planting seeds. She's gone, brain dead, not even awake. But the state's got a claim, gonna plant its stake. Say it's God's will, say it's life they protect. But they ain't the ones feeling pain or neglect. From Texas to Georgia, they set the trap. Rights roll back while they smile and clap. Gilead's here, this is true. Hey MAGA fools, they'll come for you too. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. This ain't pro-life, it's control and shame. They don't care if she's gone, just playing a game. Keep her hooked to machines, cold and still, just a vessel to them, not a human with will. No consent, no voice, no chance to resist, just laws in place, written with a clenched fist. Hospitals scared, judges playing God, bodies ain't temples, just stay on pods. Gilead's here, this is true. Hey mega fools, they'll come for you too. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. Bands in the dark, they don't care who it kills. Sacking courts while they strip out all of your wills. But we'll fight back, march loud, burn bright, cause this ain't the end, it's the start of the fight. Gilead's here, ain't no grace, and those leopards are coming to eat your face. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. Not gonna be a baby incubator. Not gonna be a baby incubator. Trump pile debt, trillions tall. Promised Mexico would fund that wall. Praised dictators, said they're strong. Had Joe done it, they'd say he's wrong. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, the screen fell play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Go through crises, storms and war. Called soldiers losers who died in war. Hire his kids to run DC. If it was Hunter, they'd scream treachery. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, the numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, Fox News would say our day. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Love Kim Jong-un, he wrote love letters that take the guns first, lose those rights forever. Signed you spending bills with glee. Had Joe done that, it'd be tyranny. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, the numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, they child up today. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Kept secret files, countless untold. Said Putin's word was good as gold. Invited the Taliban to come to U.S. soil. If Joe had done that, they'd all recoil. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, the numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd want him to pay. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Double standards loud and clear. Rules for Trump, but not for peers. What they call treason, if Joe's the name, is patriotism when Donald's to blame. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, full numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd shout no way. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
The creative director at WGSO had a little something he thought you should know. When Dan picked on his bits, Steve got real gruff. So Steve called Dan a flake, called him liberal dandruff. Steve thinks that his lines are really clever, but when do people ever like him? Never. Liberal Dan's got better lyrics, this is true. Listen and you'll feel like I do. Liberal Dan, his show is great. Liberal Dan, he goes live at 8. Liberal Dan radio, it's the best, cause Liberal Dan's head and shoulders above the rest.
He's about to find out his mistake. In this feud, Dan's Kendrick, Steve is Drake. Dan might not be the world's best singer, but he's got more talent in his little finger. Steve thinks that his lines are really clever, but when do people ever like him? Never. Liberal Dan's got better lyrics, this is true. Listen and you'll feel like I do. Liberal Dan, this show is great. Liberal Dan, he goes live at 8. Liberal Dan Radio, it's the best, 'cause Liberal Dan's head and shoulders above the rest.